Today on my channel, we are going to create a bed of roses mirrored floating candle centerpiece. If you are interested to see just how I put this piece together, please stay tuned. For this project, you will need two 6-inch and two 11.8 inches rectangular styrofoam pieces. You will need 3 of these rectangular vases, 1 of these rectangular candle holders. You will also need a roll of diamond wrap and 4 of these 5 by 12 inch rectangle mirror candle plates. You will need a sheet of felt as well as any color roses or any type of flower that you would like in your centerpiece. You will also need your vinegar and water to clean your glasses and a roll of paper towel. Of course, you will need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So the first thing that we're going to do is build up the foundation of our centerpiece. And to do this, we are going to glue 2 of our 6-inch rectangular foams together. And to do this, all we're going to do is go in with our E6000 glue. And then on top of that, we're going to go in with a dose of hot glue. And if you're new to my channel, I use this combination because the hot glue gives us that right now adhesion that we're looking for so that we can continue working, while that E6000 is going to cure over time. Once we have placed our glue down, we are going to join these 2 foam pieces together, apply some pressure, and leave it to dry for a few moments, because we know that that foam melts at the touch of that hot glue, and so we're going to give it a few seconds so that that hot glue can engage and dry and set. So now that we have built up our 2 6-inch blocks, what we have to do now is glue those 6-inch blocks to our 11.8 blocks of styrofoam. And to do this, we're simply going to follow the same step like we did when we glued those blocks down by using our E6000 glue and our hot glue gun. And so if you're noticing what I'm doing here, I am placing my foundation of glue, but I am staying to one edge of that rectangular styrofoam. I'm not going straight across to the other edge, and you will see why in a few moments. Now that I've laid my E6000 glue, I'm gonna go in with my hot glue, and again, once I've laid that foundation using my hot glue to give me that right now adhesion so that I can continue working, I am now going to place my 6-inch block on top of that glue that I just set down, lining my edge up with the straight edge of that 11.8 rectangle. Once I have done that, it is simply a matter of going in on the other side using the same process, putting down that E6000 glue, putting down some hot glue on top of that, and placing my 6-inch blocks on top of that, ensuring that I am keeping in line with the back edge of that foam. And when we come back in the next segment, I will explain to you why we're building up our project like this. Once I have placed those blocks on, it is simply a matter of applying some pressure and setting these blocks to dry, because the styrofoam is going to melt with the heat of that hot glue, and it's going to need some time to harden once again. So now that all of our pieces have dried, you can see the recess that we've created on top, and you can see the flat edge that we've created on the bottom. So now that our pieces have dried, what we're going to do is we're going to take a sheet of felt And we are going to line the bottom of our centerpiece to ensure that that centerpiece is not slipping and sliding on your table during the event. And so to do this, it is simply a matter of getting the size that you need. I folded mine and kept folding it until I got the desired indentation. And as you can see, I'm just simply cutting on that line that I have created. And once I have gotten my desired measurement, all I am going to do is affix this to the bottom of our centerpiece using hot glue and hot glue only. Now, you may wonder if you are going to be using this with a tablecloth. Miss Danielle, I may not need to put that felt down, but I would humbly suggest that you do, simply because even if you're going to be using a tablecloth on your table, that foam, the dry foam, it is so brittle. If you've ever used with it or worked with it rather, you'll know that it is very brittle, and you don't want those brittle pieces breaking off of your centerpiece and getting all over your table with your other decor, or most importantly with your guests' food. And so I would just humbly suggest covering the bottom of this centerpiece with felt. And like I said, all I'm doing is just using my hot glue gun and putting my hot glue down in increments so that that hot glue does not dry up on me. And once I'm finished, it's just a matter of pressing it down, applying some pressure, making sure that there are no bubbles in that whatsoever. Everything is lying flat. And then that part of our project is finished. So the next step in our centerpiece build-up is to create the tall vase, which is going to be the center or the focal point of our piece. And to do this, we are going to use our short rectangle candle holder as the base for our vase. And as you can see, what I'm using here is some Gorilla Glue 2-part epoxy that I've mixed off camera, and I'm just using this glue and putting it down on the edges or the brim of that upside down vase. Once I have placed my glue going all the way around, it is simply a matter of taking that vase, which is not yet dry, but taking that vase and placing it right on top, making sure that we have matched all corners, corner to corner. Everything is nice and centered. And once we have found our placement, leaving it to dry for the recommended 5 minutes. So now that we are waiting for our vase and our base to dry, what we're going to do now is adhere our mirrors to our centerpiece. And of course, we know that we have to take off the little felt stands that come with them, because we actually want these mirrors to be lying flat against our styrofoam. And so all I'm going to do in terms of glue to allow this to be set, or rather glued on this styrofoam, is the same combination that we used with our base. And I'm simply going to go in with a layer of that E6000 glue, and then I'm going to top it off with a layer of my hot glue. Now I'm looking at this and already I've made a mistake, and I will explain that to you in a few moments. But now, taking my hot glue, just following the same pattern, or almost the same pattern that I did with the E6000, using a generous amount of that hot glue, because we want that mirror to adhere rather quickly so that we can keep working. And once I have placed my glue foundation down, all I have to do now is adhere that mirror to that foam by applying some pressure. Now, if you see the mistake that I said I made, I did not need to take the glue all the way up to the top of that mirror, because what is going to happen is those 4 mirrors, when we put them on our centerpiece, it is going to create a recess, and that recess is what we're going to use to create our bed of roses. And so I'm just going to show you with the second mirror how I am going to place this mirror, and again just using the same process of E6000 glue. Now you can see I'm only going up maybe about 3/4 of the way up, and once I have placed my foundation of E6000 glue, it is a matter of using my hot glue gun, which will give us our right now adhesion so that we can continue working. So here it is. I am getting my hot glue, just following roughly the same pattern, filling in where there might be some empty space. And once I have laid that foundation, again, just a matter of picking up my mirror and placing it where I need it to be. Now I'm applying some pressure here, and to make sure that my edges are aligned, I'm going to turn it around so I can see it. And yep, perfect. So we currently now have 2 mirrors on our foundation. What I'm going to do is continue the other sides, and then I'll come back to show you what that part looks like. Alright, so here you have all of our mirrors have been placed, and what I'm showing you is how I use the diamond wrap that I told you in the supply intro that we needed. And all I did with that diamond wrap was I took just 1 sliver of it and placed it into each corner to give us a nice seamless look. Now that I have placed that diamond wrap in those seams, what we are going to do now is place our vases in the center of our centerpiece using our hot glue. And so as you can see, I'm just using my hot glue to put down just a little. I'm not going to use too much glue here, because by the time we fill these vases up with water, those vases are going to be weighed down. So I'm just repeating the process on the other side, placing my vase where I want it to sit. And then for the vase in the middle, since we're not working with a flat surface, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to put, and please forgive me for being out of frame, but some hot glue on the brim of that vase, as you can see now, and I'm just going to set it equally in between those 2 blocks we created earlier. Once I have done that, I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I'll be back to show you what our next step is going to be. So now that everything has been dried and shored up, now all it is a matter of placing our flowers in our foam. And so what we're trying to create here, which is the name of our project, A Bed of Roses, is a box that is so filled with roses, it is impossible to see in between each and every rose. And so as you can see, I'm just going in. I'm not placing my roses too deep down, because like I said, we created that recess with our mirrors. And so I'm just going to continue laying my roses, going all the way around our centerpiece in rows. And then once I have done that, I will go ahead and continue to fill in any blank spaces that I can find, including the spaces between those 2 vases. Once I have done that, I am going to clean up any glue fronds that they are, set the table, clean my glass to ensure that there are no fingerprints, and then I'll be back to show you what our finished project looks like. Well, my darlings, here you have it. Our Bed of Roses mirrored floating candle centerpiece. Isn't she stunning? You have the luxury of a reflective surface, the fantasy of red roses, the elegance of still water, and the romanticism of floating lit candles. Can you imagine the awe of your guests when you explain to them that this was a DIY? I think they would be awed. I think my favorite part of this project has to be when, as an afterthought, I included that black ribbon in the middle of the tallest vase and then topped it off with a rhinestone embellishment. And then, of course, to tie in the entire tablescape, I added a red rose on top of our dining plates with black ribbon wrapped around the stem as well. This is a gorgeous piece, guys. I am really excited about this one. Listen, if you find value in this video, kindly be sure to give it a thumbs up as well as leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you think that someone in your family or a friend or a girlfriend, someone whom you know is getting married or having a birthday party or a retirement party, someone who may be interested in this project, kindly be sure to share it as well. To my Danny's darlings, I just want to say to you guys, as usual and as always, I enjoy hearing from each and every one of you. Your comments, your love, your encouragement, your questions, I appreciate them all. If you are not yet a Danny's darling, we would like to invite you to join our ever-growing community of DIYers as we learn from and craft with each other on a daily basis. Of course, my loves, you know that I have to leave you with the motto of our channel, which is this: why buy when you can DIY? Listen, as usual and as always, it has been a pleasure working with and learning from you guys today. I look forward until the next time we will meet again. And until then, I want to say to you all, please be well, take care of yourselves, know that I love you all, and until next time, bye now.